Here we go. Today it's the Master Trainer 618, right? I get the right day. Usually I'm off by a day for some reason. And today we're going to talk about Facebook, which is the current gorilla in the room when it comes to marketing. I was talking to a couple people about this on something else, and they said, yeah, well, but how effective is it? Well, let's face it, it's pretty much destroyed American democracy. And the good news is it's like the Wild West, right? A lot of this internet stuff, especially like Facebook, I think they're trying to rein it in, but it's powerful, and I forget how many billions of people are on Facebook. And currently, it's used more by people 40 and above than the younger people. Some 30s still use it. But which is actually our target market right now, let's be honest, right? So since it is, how can we leverage it? So I've been looking, I talked to a couple people, and like I said, the next few weeks, I want to keep doing this on marketing, because everything now is marketing. You got to keep working on your books. I do expect to see you guys put your books up, but everything's going to come back together because it's all about getting butts in chairs, correct? Helping people sell their classes, their seminars, their workshops. Right? And that's why I wanted you to write a book. Books help people, right? Even if it's a booklet, it's very powerful. Yes, hey, Gabe, how are you? And yes, we'll talk afterwards when I turn the recording off about the question you asked if you didn't read your email. So today, we're going to just do, it's a quick one on Facebook, right? It's still the biggest out there, right? In some ways, actually the really hugest, is that a word? Yes, I'm a linguist, is email marketing, but you got to develop your email list. How the hell do you develop your email list? We'll do some of that later. I don't claim to be the expert in that. I'm trying to get a couple people to come on and talk about it, But especially for Facebook, here are the things that they say. Number one, content is still king, right? The better content you put up, the bigger you can grow your group and the more quickly you can grow your group. There's a couple people we could model and also to be focused. We'll talk about that. Video is still number one. And if you can do your video and run the text, if you put it on YouTube, and there's ways you can do the captioning, that's great, right? Because some people they'll have their sound off and they'll be looking at it and they'll be watch your video and read the words, right? I'm not the best at that. I never claimed to be all of that, but video is still number one because if you post a really long written one where, Facebook cuts it short and says, click for more. Well, the research according to Facebook, very few people click on the read more, right? There's a place to use that, but not when you're trying to get your traction going. So video is still number one, and tie into emotions. There's a big argument going on, but I think it's true, even if it pisses people off, but you got to get people emotional, tag into an emotion. Those are the things that get likes and shares and comments and all that. And it's all about the story. What is your story? What is the story? And all that. And this all ties in being authentic, right? There's a way on your Facebook, by the way, if you're going to be doing a lot on Facebook, you might want, it's in your settings where you turn off that people can see when you're online, right? I have to do that, right? Because then you get messages, people know you're online, or they assume you're online. Sometimes you'll open up your Facebook, like if you're on your desktop, like I am now, like most of you are, right? Well, you might not even be looking at it, and then people might IM you or try to contact you, and then they think you're just blowing them off. So you want to make sure that there's a way you turn it off so people can't tell when you're on live, right? I'll show you that later after I go in and do it again myself, make sure it works. Here's some tips, right? If you're going to post something and you're going to take them back to your website, take them to your sales page, take them anywhere, use the full URL, right? I know if you just type in drwillhorton.com, it's going to go there, right? Because with the algorithms for, how the intelligence of the computers now, you don't have to use the whole thing, but use the full URL. It does something in the Facebook algorithms to make it better, and at least the www dot, I know you don't have to, but I just saw that they said, well, if you put that in there, it's going to get Facebook to post it more, right? And if you're doing a written text on there, some kind of thing, they used to say in it, put click, like, and share, right? Well, Facebook now, their algorithms pick that up and they don't like it. Now, while you're doing a Facebook Live, or if you're doing a recording and you say click, like, and share, like I do constantly, right? And even if you got the text running while you're doing it, the captioning, right? It doesn't pick up like it's in your written text. So it's okay to say it, but don't write it in your post like click, like, and share, right? Now later on, if you can get, and we'll talk about this, if some of the people that are clicking comments, if they would say, this is great, you should click, like, and share in the comments, it doesn't do the same thing. This is all about, using how they're using it, right? And again, if you're doing a Facebook Live or you're doing a recording, going to do a Zoom, record it and put it on Facebook later, when you say click like, do the thumb up, because that's the Facebook thing, right? So you click, like, and share. And I do know it gets people to do it. If they're watching even on their phone, they might click the little like button. And all of that is about trying to get something to go truly viral. I've had a few things go viral where they get like 28,000 views. Back when I was doing that radio thing, I'm thinking about starting that back up. And that was one we didn't pay to boost it. That just went viral. The topic was good. We'll talk about that and all that, right? So if you're going to do a written one, I did one yesterday, and it's true, it gets a little bit more responses if you do a fill in the blank. You make a statement and you put in so it's a fill in the blank. It gets people to type in. Think about yourself. I know I'm much more like if I'm reading it, I think the one I typed, it was more of a specialty, but if you really wanted to get one to go viral, but I wouldn't be political, if you wrote Donald Trump is up and you left the blank, trust me, you're going to get a lot of responses on both sides of the spectrum, right? And it'll get a lot of stuff going on, right? So, and this kind of ties into the next one, which is there a topic out there that's trending? Is there something people are talking about? Can you post on it, right? There's the argument of, don't get political. Some people say get political. I don't know. I know I've pulled back from the politics because it's such a volatile, I'm just not here today, volatile subject, right? But what else is trending that you can post on? There's some hot topic. We're going to eventually in a couple weeks talk about, if the hashtag goes hot, you want to post on that, right? And then get that in there because you never know, right? So again, if there's something trending, something out there getting a lot of press, a lot of people are talking about it, can you somehow tie it into your post, right? And let's say you were going to do a sports training. You got the Women's World Cup going on, right? You could tie into, did you know that some, what's her name? You could pick three of the P. I think you could Google it. Some of the World Cup women have used hypnosis, you could do a post on that. That might get responses. A couple weeks ago when that guy unexpectedly won the world's heavyweight championship, he mentioned how he visualized the fight and it went exactly like he thought it was going to go, yada, yada, yada. You could write a whole post on, I'm guilty of not doing it, you could write a whole post on, this proves that creative visualization works. Self-hypnosis, which is what he did. Just if you could get his quote, put it in there. This is self-hypnosis. Let me show you how to do it. Come to my training on da 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 da. Right? So, and you could, I forget his name, but you could hashtag his name because it was right after the fight. That was a big thing that went viral, you know. And this would go back to your Twitter, could, you know, with the hashtags, or Instagram. And I know Miss Messer is does a lot with Instagram. I'm still learning the keys, but we're all getting there. So what topic is trending, and can you post on it, right? So if you have a love, whether it's like, you know, children, you know, helping kids, or in my case, it's addiction, you can look at things that are trending. I've been trying to remember to do that when I'm doing my morning Instagram, because like I showed you last time, I do the 1 minute one and put the headline on there, and I look at like hashtag addiction treatment, which has like 1.2 million posts, and I forget how long they post it, but it's a big topic, right? So you could do that. So what topic are you into, or what's trending that you can tie it to what you're into, right? And again, video is still king on the internet. A Facebook Live may get more traction than a written one, right? Because you can just actually check the views, right, and the shares, right? And again, you share it everywhere you can. We're going to talk about a couple things we're going to do together. And I'm going to post, and then we'll do a talk about that next week. But video is still king. Can you do it? Now, if you're going to do a video, or even your other posts, keep it, unless you're doing a webinar, keep it short and to the point. Webinars can go on 45 minutes, an hour. People don't care. If you're going to do a webinar on Facebook Live, that's fine. And the great thing about Facebook Live, if you're going to do your webinar, like let's say you got a class coming up, you can do a webinar. What are you going to learn in my NLP class coming up in July? And you can do a 30, 40-minute webinar, right? You could just do the talking head, like, you know, right now I got the screen share on here, you know, on Facebook. You could do it, and it's going to be you. I'm not real good at figuring out how to share the screen, so it's going to be mostly you doing just you talking. But of course, you could bring up if you had a PowerPoint or your notes, you could bring those up that you're not sharing your screen, so people only see you talking. And again, the great thing about Facebook, you could post it, leave it up for a few days, push it, and then you can go in, if it's on your feed or on your page, you could go in, and delete it. You know, and it's like, So you could practice. You could practice in real time. You could do your own, you know, split testing. You could do it this way, where it's just you. You know, you could do this, right, where it's just a big talking head. Hey, da 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 da. Or if if you wanted to do it another way, you could go and do a, you know, where it's mostly like the info, and see which one got better traction. Is it just the talking head, or is it the one with things they can look at? I don't know. You could do that. So again, but the thing is to keep it short, to the point. Again, unless you're doing a webinar, and some people do couple-hour webinars. The last thing I read a couple months ago was keep your webinars about 45 minutes to an hour. Always offer good content, because content is still king. So if you're going to talk about your NLP class, you maybe do a really cool technique. I know those of you that get the email, the e-zine, when I do the spotlight on, which I do a couple times a month, and by the way, everybody on this call, I got to do a spotlight on you. We did Charlie. I did a couple other people. And I always say, you got to show us your favorite technique, because if I put in there like the technique fire breathing, which we did with Anthony, I forgot the one we did with Charlie right off the bat, but that one, those get more views, right? Because people like, especially on my e-zine list, people like techniques. They're always hungry for techniques. So we always do I just did yesterday's with Charles Crenshaw, and it was a fun technique. That'll be in probably go out tomorrow or maybe even later today. That easy, right? Things like that. The other thing you can do is with the video, you can do a quick Facebook Live announcing your webinar. I'm guilty of not doing that, but you could just go on and like, you know, I would do, I tried it with just writing a post like, tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m., I'm doing a webinar on Facebook Live webinar here on, and you name the topic. So. But if you do a quick, hey, everybody, this is Dr. Will, tomorrow at 1 o'clock right here on Facebook Live, I'm going to be doing a webinar on wherever it is. Hope to see you there, right? So you could do that, right? So again, video is king. Keep it short, to the point, and most of all, be authentic. Be yourself. It doesn't have to be letter perfect. You know, some people, oh, everything has to be perfect. You know, hair, makeup. And you're not shooting a major motion picture. You're just doing it. When I first heard that, part of me goes, oh, you know, I'm an actor and I try to work on like this. But the ones that get the most play are the ones where I'm out at the barn, and the horses are behind me. You know, because you know, as W.C. Fields said, never share the screen with an animal or a kid because they're mesmerizing. They take your attention. It's true, but people like watching it, and it's me. It's real. My hair's, you know, I'm at the barn. I am not, and you can tell. Usually, it's one of the few. I haven't shaved. It's first thing in the morning. I haven't showered because I usually go do the barn. Then I go work out. Then I get cleaned up. People seem to like it. It's authentic. It's different. It's me. You know. Dan Candel's got the one walking with coffee, whatever he does. Some people have certain things. You could do it at your desk. But, you know, just be authentic, be yourself. People love case studies. People love when you share a technique. People love success stories from your clients. You know, just keep doing that, right? Another good thing is on your post, ask questions. Just ask questions. You know, just leave a question. And then people answer it. Hey, what's your favorite NLP technique? I should start doing that. And then people might start listing it. Kind of cool. And as always, quotes. People love quotes. All right, so you could just put up a quote. I do this a lot on the martial arts side. Some of you see that because it goes on my regular feed if you follow me on Facebook. Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris, I'll just go, and it's easy to do. You just Google it. Take the picture with the quote. I do it on I love martial arts, which is where I was practicing building a page on Facebook from a few years ago, and I almost let the page die. And when I learn some of these things, I'll go test it there because I like martial arts, but you know, I'm not trying to make money on it. So I could test stuff. So sure as heck, if I put up a thing with Bruce Lee and one of his quotes, it gets action. You know, one I got a lot of responses and shares and all that was, which martial arts star said the following? And then I put a quote, you know, got a lot of play. Then I read, someone said, what you should have done is, which martial arts star said the following, and then put the quote up, and then list like 4 martial arts stars, you know, Chuck Norris, of course, Bruce Lee, Van Damme, some of the newer guys, put it up there, and then like A, B, C, D, and then people just go A, B, C, or D, you know, answer tomorrow, right? And then, you know, if you're really trying, if you did this on your own page, and then you really want to get it, if you want to get a quote to go big, if you did that, here's one you can all test. What's your favorite NLP technique? You know, and then people, if you got people to answer and you got the time, even if it's just 20 minutes, go in, and if, you know, Charlie said, oh, I love the visual squash. You could, you click like on his thing, right? And then you reply back to him or to the group. You make another comment, right? And it keeps the action going, right? And it's all about interaction on Facebook, the algorithms, right? So again, but put quotes, put this, put that. You know, what great NLP trainer said, responsibility is the ability to respond. Was it Milton Erickson? Was it Richard Bandler? Was it Bill Horton? Da, 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 right? And then see if people respond. By the way, if you did that and you put one of your quotes up there, and you said what great motivational speaker said, and then you put one of your quotes, and you put like Tony Robbins, Richard Bandler, Zig Ziglar, and then your name. Well, guess what? Now, in people's minds, I meant to put that down, you get lumped in with Tony Robbins, Richard Bandler, Zig Ziglar, or whoever it is you're using, right? And of course, it's your quote. No, it wasn't his. It was my quote, right? It's a powerful way to link yourself, going back to our traditional training stuff. So more, post. When you're at a live event, and I put up there, I'm honest, up until now, I sucked at that, right? You see a lot of people are constantly doing the selfies, and you don't have to do your own. You got a class, take a lot of pictures, and tag people, right? Right? When you see it on Facebook, tag them, right? Because guess what? When you tag them, if they have it's on their website, or they have a Facebook page, it'll get tagged into their Facebook page, or at least they'll be known that they've been tagged in a picture. Most people will then repost it, which is, again, it's your post. Hey, for my basic NLP of June of 2019, and you put a big picture, you know, hey, there's Gabriel, there's Janice, there's Charlie, you know, and you take a big group picture, even if it's just in the class, and then it gets it flowing, right? Now, once you post something, whether it's a video, whether it's a regular written post to any and all groups that you can, right? Again, I look now as Facebook is a marketing tool. I'm not using it like a lot of people use it just as their as a personal thing, but I'm using it as a business marketing tool. So I'll be honest with you, my Facebook is rather schizophrenic. My personal page, I got a lot of NLP people, hypnosis people, a lot of theater type people, actors and things, and then of course family, right? And then some just in recovery. So it's kind of, right? Now I could go start like a fan page where it would just be for this. Now that's in a couple weeks. I hope to really bring someone on, not me, because I'm not good at it, to show you how to build a fan page, or your business page, right? But post to any and all groups that you can, right? That's why when I'm doing a Facebook Live at the barn, you always see me go, hold on, I got to do this, because this is where you share the Facebook Live with a group while you're doing it, right? Share on others' timelines if applicable. If you mention them, if you're doing something where it's applicable, mention them and share it on their timeline. Now, a lot of us allow people to post on their timeline. I read, again, some people are all for it, some people are against it. But if you're going to let people post, you do have to monitor it somewhat on your own, because you don't want people posting stuff that is very bad for you. But again, even if they post it and you monitor it, pretty regularly, like at least every day, if not twice a day, and someone makes a comment you don't like, you can delete your own on your page, right? Also to let you know who's an asshole out there, to be honest with you. But share on other people's timelines if it's applicable. Now, if you share to a lot of groups, some groups don't want you to share marketing. So you can kind of bury your marketing in a Facebook post, obviously, a Facebook Live, blah, 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 blah. And Friday, I'm doing a whatever. On July 27th, I'm doing a basic NLP course, whatever it is. Kind of bury it in, I have been slapped by some administrators of some groups about don't do any, this group allows absolutely zero tolerance for any kind of marketing. I usually write back, thank you, to go ahead and delete me from the group, because you're an idiot, I'm And plus, in that kind of group is going to draw people who will never spend money anyway. You know, I'm not giving away my stuff anymore, so thank you very much. I'm not going to post there. So share on other timelines, post everywhere you can, and if it's not applicable, they'll tell you, and you can either stop or they'll throw you out, one of the two. Comment on other people's posts. Now, again, up until now, I wasn't that good at that. So when you see someone post something cool, comment on it, right? Comment on it. And you know, you can use your YouTubes to post. That's what we do here. I record it, and I could put it on YouTube, and then I could post it to Facebook, right? You can do the same with Twitter, you know, or Instagram, right? It'll share it. So that way you can get a bigger bang for your buck. If you did a 1 minute, what do you call it? 1 minute Instagram. Well, you should hold it this way if you're going to do it right? So you do your Instagram post, you post it to Instagram, and make sure you got the hashtags, then you post it to Twitter, then there's a way you can post it to Facebook. So for that one thing, you got 3 bangs for the buck, right? So that's the other thing you got to start thinking about is how can you repurpose these things, right? So, you know, so you can do all that, right? Now, video, if you're going to do video on, especially on Facebook, do it regularly. A person that's helped me build the addiction thing, say what we want to do is set a certain day and a certain time. I'm probably going to go with Wednesdays at maybe noon or 1, because the best days to do Facebook, any kind of video online, are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know, it still kind of coincides with best times to do some, used to be the best time to do like stop smoking seminars were Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But you want to set a certain time and make sure you do it, right? And they don't have to be any particular length. Again, content is king. You know, follow the news, follow the trends, talk about what's going on, talk about your favorite technique, whatever it is, technique, topics you like. That makes it much easier to talk about, you know. And if you're totally at a loss, somebody told me this one, and I'm like, They go, just go to, you know, Google TED Talks or TEDx Talks and listen to a couple of them, and you'll get ideas, right? Even if it might not be about NLP or hypnosis, or weight loss, or helping kids, or, you know, NLP for sales, you'll get ideas where you could take a few notes in someone else's TED Talk, and then when you do yours, it's a lot easier, right? Plus it's been tested, right? So if you see a TED Talk that's been replayed, you know, 250,000 times, that's an interesting topic. People seem to like that topic, right? So when you do your Facebook Live, you could model it, as we would say, right? And just have fun with it. And we have a different take, the NLP and hypnosis take. I haven't done it. One person said, try just like, hey, I was watching a TED Talk from Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he was talking about, you know, how to use the brain to reprogram your DNA and how to be successful. And it's really great, you know. And if you really understand NLP and hypnosis, here's what's going on behind the scenes, right? He might not be the best example, but if you were going to do one like Gabe was going to do one on NLP for sales, and he went and did watched a YouTube or a TEDx talk. I can't think of a good sales trainer right now. And then just said, well, you know, I was watching this really interesting TED Talk by Kevin, I'll use my friend, Kevin Hogan, or I was reading, whatever, you use their name and say, now, you know, when you understand NLP and hypnosis, this is what's going on. And then you go into your little thing, right? And then you can even if you're going to put that up, you could even hashtag the author you mentioned or who did the talk. If you're going to put that up on a Facebook or on a YouTube, you know, mention it. Okay, there's ways to get some more action. But again, all of these videos, be interesting, be different, you know. And since this is what we're doing, have a point. Mention classes, mention books, mention conferences, right? Again, content's king. Give away your content, give away stuff so people can do that, right? But mention there, you know, like, here's my class I have coming up. And don't just do it at the end. You got to do it a couple times in the middle, because not everybody will watch it to the end, right? It should be in your comment section or in the title, right? And then once you do a Facebook Live, there's a way you can set up a watch party. I'll show you that in one moment if you haven't done it. And then you can go in and you can invite people to your watch party, which will get it going. Again, it's just replaying it as a watch party, right? So that's that. So let me show you the Facebook, how to do a watch party. So you go to your Facebook, yada, 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 all right? See, I'm not as political as some people. Lately, I've been just going, when I see a real political one, I go hide post. You know, first of all, it might piss me off, right? Secondly, no matter what you say, you're gonna, right now, 40% are gonna like you, 40% are not gonna like you, and I think that other 20% are just sick of it, right? So I try not to comment on it, right? Here's Christina's thing. Here was the one I did this morning. So if I was gonna create a watch party, right? Oh, look, watch party. What was this title? Oh, the recovery hacks. Interesting stuff. All right. Boom. All right. And then I'm starting a watch party. There it is.
With his therapist, that's Shikai, and that's Miss Penelope, the intern.
And I can invite
she's about ready to graduate and become a full-fledged
Richard, Scott J,
therapist, I guess you could say.
These are people that
excuse me while I
right
click
now.
on a few things.
This,
today I want to talk a little bit about what I call the recovery hacks, or why it seems to be so difficult for some people.
Well, at least they'll click in, right? Now I already did one watch party this morning, and now what you have, now you can't click out because it'll shut off your watch party, right? But you can just, like, you know, hey, boom, you know, it means it's right, you know, I minimized it. It's still playing so people can watch it. You know, make sure you don't have extra videos after that. I found out somehow one time it got tagged in with other videos, and the watch party went on for hours with all kinds of marketing videos, man. So I had to make sure that it was, when you put this up here, no, I don't ever add a co-host unless I was doing something with someone, and no extra videos. So it's only going to play this 5 minutes, 43 seconds. And share that info, you know, and the people may share it, you know. So that was all I wanted to talk about today. On that Facebook. And again, it's in flex, you know, it's constantly changing. What works today may not work tomorrow, but you know, the most that happens is you get a Facebook slap, right? You know, and if you posted something to a group and they didn't want it, they may throw you out of the group. But I always look at that like, who cares? Or they'll just delete your comments. I've had that happen. It's like, you know, a lot of people, especially if they're pretty savvy, they understand a lot of this is about your marketing, right? So that's it for our share. Now here's what I wanted to talk about before I stop the recording. You know, we have our NF-NLP Master Trainer Group, and we have we have a couple of NF-NLP groups, right? So I want to make sure everyone here, there's an NLP group, and I'm going to put this in the next e-zine for people to join our groups. Here's why. So when you post something, it should go on the NFNLP group, you know, and then what I'm going to ask everybody to do, especially my trainers, you know, my master trainers especially, and then I'm going to reach out to all my trainers. So if I see that Monica posts something, I should like it and share it and make a comment. Again, so somebody was telling me, if you got a good group, like 50 people, let's just say we get 10 to 20 that actually do it, and they say, you know, like Charlie does a nice post, I click, wow, really good, whatever he's talking about, mindfulness stuff, great stuff, Charlie. And you click like, you leave the comment, and you share it, right? And then we all do, say 10 people do that. Well, we probably got a lot of friends in common, but excuse me, we have friends not in common. So that's how it starts going viral, you know? And if in my comment, I mention it, click like and share, and it goes now on my thing, and other people may see it. They're going to see the post because I've shared the post onto my site. And it doesn't take much to get some of these things, especially video, to go a little bit more viral, right? And then let's say you're pushing a class, you know, if Gabe was pushing a class, well, it's going to get out there. And so that's what I'm going to ask. And I'm going to put that in the next e-zine for people to make sure. I'll put the one in NFNLP group up there, in fact, both groups, and tell people start posting it. We let people post stuff, post your videos, share your videos there. And then when I ask everybody that if you do get on Facebook, and again, this is the new age marketing, right? The new age marketing. At least once a day, you need to go in and do that, right? And let's build each other up, because again, we'll create our own viral pool that'll go out there, and no other group is really doing that right now. You know, the group that's sort of doing it is HypnoThoughts, right? Their little group, it's, you know, they monitor what people can post. You can't just post up there. If you want to post something, you write it and you click share. It goes, Richard has to, I think it's Richard, has to approve it, right? So we can't argue with the results. They went from a conference that wasn't in existence a few years ago to probably this year will be the biggest hypnosis conference, you know, or in a dead heat with the conferences that's been around for over 30 years. And they did that rather quickly. And they did it by using Facebook Live as their primary marketing, all right? And then they get their people to push it. So again, if you're doing that, let's say you post on the NFNLP site your class and you got like 6 people in it and you tag each one, well, then they're going to get tagged when you post it. And then, I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but it starts exponential growth that way, right? So that's, so I'm going to ask everybody to do that. I'm going to put it in the NFNLP e-zine for people to make sure that they're in the groups and this and that. You know, eventually I'm going to start another group, just NFNLP trainers, because not everybody is in the master trainer group for the same kind of thing, to make our organization go to a different level. And this is about building everybody up, right? So, because I'm not doing that many trainings anymore. I'm trying to get that other thing going. So I still do them, but, you know, let's have some fun with this. So let me stop the recording.